Yes, don't buy this knife. This is not the knife to buy.
Yeah, so, don't buy.
Don't buy a gas station knife.
That's a symbolic knife. Don't buy mini knives like this knife.
I'm Greg.
I'm Josh.
And welcome to the Knife Channel where we talk about gas station knives. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding that bell. So it has to be said, don't buy this knife. Now,
or any knife like it.
This is that cheesy cast metal.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the dragon. This is the Fast and Furious era. It's all furious. It's not fast. Awkward pocket knife. And this is from my childhood. And this is the kind of knife as a kid, you go into that little,
well, let's see, where do you find
service
like this?
Station? The Pakistani-owned guy. He's got all the little made in Pakistan knives, some Chinese. Back then, this is actually Taiwan, old as it is.
You find those in, flea markets.
Yes.
Weird stores in your malls.
You got the little guy with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth with that little folding table selling his pocket knives.
The little strip shops like in Gatlinburg or places like that.
Yeah, all of those places. So... this is, I will admit, this is nostalgic for me, but it represents what you don't buy. Don't buy the gas station knife.
Right. But some people do. They buy it and they use it, and in their head...
And a little kid would... This is kind of a little kid knife. Like, if you need a pocket knife, just take an extra moment in the day of the internet and get a real knife.
Right. So an MSRP on like a... Let's call it like a gimmick knife. They kind of lead you astray because they do. They'll have branding and marketing on there that looks like it's maybe one of the bigger brands, but a lot of times the heat treat's not there.
Who knows? You don't know what the heat treat is.
You might not even know what the knife steel is, and so.
And even this one with its riveting, it's all like loose.
Right. So it's a safety issue, and a lot of times you see dads buying those for their kids and things, and I would say the price point on most knives like this is about $20 to $30.
Gotta be, right?
Right.
Around $20.
So that knife will probably break if you use it any serious extent of time. It's not going to last a lifetime. So why not take that money and buy some knives that are worthwhile, that will last?
And I figure it's worth talking about. So you have, I think that the most ideal budget knife right now for Made in America would be like a buck 112 or 110 slim select, and you're talking about $25 to $30 depending upon which model you go with. And
great steel, great heat treat.
Yep, 420 HC, buck style. And they're not perfect knives when you get them. They are going to be a little stiff maybe, but I've worked these and the stiffness has helped. Right, it's gotten better, as it should, because you know what? They're a riveted knife like this, but guess what? No blade play. Right. Simple construction. Right. Simple lock back. But you're getting a quality product. Made in America as well. So you don't have to go and buy a gas station knife. There's really no reason to do that. I guess if you were on the road and in a pinch and you had to... I don't know why you would be in a pinch and not have a knife. But if you were, and maybe the gas station all they had, I get it. But... generally speaking, don't be sucked in by shiny.
Yeah, well, you'd be better served buying a cheap Gerber or
true,
something like that.
Yeah, and the nice thing about going like with Buck is Buck has a really reasonable heat treat, and we understand what that heat treat is.
Well, you can find some information out about the knife steel. It's on the blade. Yep. The company. It's tried and true. It's not gonna, that's what always scares me with those kind of gas station knives, is the blade's not gonna fragment and send a shard of metal into your eye.
I certainly wouldn't pry with one. One of the things that you could do is also get a $40 knife. Right? Yeah. You could save your money for another week and get an actual knife. This is an interesting one. It's a little bit of an odd knife, but this is the Carter Trinity. And I wanted to show it because...
by Ontario, right?
By Ontario. And Ontario has some interesting smaller knives. I'll let you look at that. That's titanium. It's $40.
Well, and they used to make the...
It's AUS 8.
The Rat 2, right?
The Rat models, right? You can get those. They also have this Wraith.
That's a cool little
This
knife.
is 14116. It's Krupp stainless. It's, is it a little cheesy? Yeah. I think any $20 knife's going to have a little bit of cheesiness to it.
Unless it's a buck.
And I modified those, so you might find my modifications cheesy, but they're so inexpensive. Look, I even took the blades and made them into real actual clip points, ground them down. I've sharpened them, of course. They don't come super sharp from the factory, but a gas station knife is total garbage, so it doesn't come with any kind of an edge. And I painted them.
Gas station knives have oscillating edges. They're sharp in places.
Yes, they're sharp in place. That's a good point.
Oscillating edges.
Yeah, it's like a saw in one place and a butter knife in the next, right? So, there's some knives that are pretty cool out there. I thought this was kind of neat for $40 that you can get the Carter Trinity. It's made in Taiwan. It's AUS 8. I keep on saying but G10, or maybe that's FRN. It looks like G10. It's got layers. So titanium. It's a lot of knife for $40. Not the greatest ergos, but for the money, you're getting a ton of blade. It's really, really sharp. So yeah.
Well, and the point is there's options.
There's so many options.
There's options at the price point of a mall knife that you can get a decent knife. You can get a little Gerber. You can get a buck. You can get one of these Ontarios.
Yes.
The list goes on and on. CRKT. There's knives.
There are so many knives that you can get. That's a reasonable price.
That's it's gonna have a good EDC function. Now, granted, we're not talking about like a traditional knife. These knives all locked to some extent. They're knives that's made to be used.
How about a Suiza? Look,
there you go.
I mean, why not? Or even a Swiss Army knife, right? And this is kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Just a different brand, a little bit less expensive than a Swiss Army knife, but you're in that $20-ish range. It's a liner lock. It comes really sharp from the factory. It actually has a cool look to it.
Yeah.
And it even has a little Phillips head in the back. Why not? I mean, for the money.
You're still better served than
a garbage. Look, it comes with tweezers.
This knife is going to have a cool factor, but you're wasting your money. It's going to end up being thrown away.
I totally forgot about that. It has like a little wedge cut, like a little awl.
Yeah,
right there.
That's cool.
There's a lot to this little knife for the money. So there are options out there that are reasonable.
You're better served.
You're better served
than one of these.
Yeah, do not buy the gas station knife.
This is our
and don't buy it for your kids either.
This is because they're going to get hurt.
Teach them. Say, here's why I don't buy you this knife. A lot of times the function of those knives are so bad.
You're wasting your money.
Yes. I'm wasting my money. And B, it's not easy to use. Some of them don't even open or close correctly.
Right.
You can't really cut with them, and the harder you press, the more likely it's going to slip and actually hurt you.
Well,
There's just a ton of reasons why you don't. Plus, you want to teach your kids, and I think that's a mistake people make. They don't teach their kids. They allow their kids to be sucked in by things that are flashy. We have to teach our children that not everything flashy is good. In fact, most flashy things may not be good.
Well, and let's say this was your first knife, and you got this for your kid. Well, it's really not going to last if they're using it. Like most little kids, probably not little kids. Not that your little kids are running around the backyard using a knife, but if you're in Boy Scouts or whatever, a knife like that's probably going to break. Whereas this will last and last and last, and honestly, it could very well get handed down to the next generation.
Even for a little plastic-handled knife, it's still made well enough that, it's going to do its job. It's going to do it for a lot longer. So, yeah.
So, guys, this is our clip point public
go.
Service announcement to not buy gas station knives.
Don't buy a gas station knife. They are junk. I don't care what they look like. Don't get sucked in. Go to a place like SmokyMountainKnifeWorks.com where they carry everything, and you can even look and see. I don't own any. Maybe I should change that. Maybe we should do an MTech review and show you what a high quality gas station knife is. Because if you are that strict on a budget and you want something that's really that, flashy look, I hate to say it, MTech, that's your brand.
I don't know. It's if you're spending $20, there are some knives out there that you can get.
I agree. They're just not going to be flashy.
Right. But that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, like I know, like there's the second kind of cool aspect of a knife. That's part of it.
Right.
But if you're on a budget and you just need a knife,
Are they even watching our channel, those guys?
All right.
I don't know that there's... If you're an M-Tech buyer, we want to hear from you, because I want to know, is there somebody from M-Tech who's actually... Somebody who actually would buy an M-Tech? Oh, look, here is... Cold Steel. Cold Steel even gets into the dirt cheap game. And you have right here... So look, it's got a little flashy kind of Japanese style integrated pocket clip. It actually is replaceable. Most integrated pocket clips are not replaceable. It's Cold Steel. This one came pretty sharp. It's got a cool name, Kiradashi, a Japanese feel. It's a lockback. I don't know. Those knives go for like $20.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, there's knives. If, let's say, for instance, you walk into Smoky Mountain Knife Works, you need to buy a knife, you don't know what to buy. This is the video for you. Don't buy, something like that. Go find a real knife brand that actually puts some time into their knives and designs their knives and is intentional about it. Like, they have budget options. It's still going to work. If you want to
buy a Kershaw that's $20 or whatever their low end is, go and buy that. But I don't think you can get a knife that's somewhat reasonable with a reasonable steel from a reasonable manufacturer for under $20. I think $20 is the limit. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, roughly $20 is going to be the limit. You can't spend less than $20.
That's got a good size.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some of the little tiny things that
that's interesting.
Almost not usable, but it has a lot of tension on it. I've never used it. I mean, it's a cool knife.
No, you release the lock by pushing the cross. That's what I was saying. It's interesting.
I didn't know that.
The more you know.
The more you know. So that, wow, there you go. Yeah. Another reason to get a Squeeza. That is cool as all get out. I dig that.
But, guys, hopefully this will help you navigate your first knife purchase, help you find something that's a little bit more, still fits in your budget, but is going to last way longer, be way safer to use, come out of the box sharp, not dangerous.
Yep.
Just do yourself a favor and buy a real knife, not a gimmick.
Buy a real knife, and as always, stay sharp.
Yeah, stay sharp.